All right, great. Well, I've just had to wait for the live stream to connect to everything. Well, hello, parents. As you know, my name's Graham Matthews, and I run Empowered STEM. And Empowered STEM is an A-level course provider, and we provide A-level courses in chemistry, biology, physics, and maths to those students that want to enroll in medical, dental, veterinary, financial, and engineering programs at the chosen university in the UK. So today, I want to come in and I want to answer a parent question. But again, I want to turn it around slightly because this was a question that we were asked on Friday. The question that we were asked was, well, why should I go with you as a course provider rather than the competition? What do you do that is different to what the competition does? Ooh, I thought, good question. All right. And the answer is this one. The answer is that we think beyond a grade on an exam, and we're thinking towards the skills that your teen needs for university, career, and beyond. It makes me think of my university experience. Now, it's been a long time, parents, since I was in university, 40 years. And I can recall my father asked me a really important question. What he said to me was, son, what's the one thing that you believe that you've learned from your university experience, which will make a difference in your life? And I thought about it. I thought, it's a fact that I'm a lifelong learner, Dad. This is the difference that made the difference for me. It's what I really took away from university. Now, isn't that what you really want for your teen? Let's get real for a moment, parents. What's the real goal of your teen attending sixth form college and going to university? All right. Is it just to get a grade, a high grade on a test, a homework set, a lab write-up, or an exam, or a final set of exams? Or is there something beyond the grade? I think that there's something beyond the grade. And what we teach in our courses at Empowered STEM is that we help your teen get ready for university, careers, and beyond. And there's several things that we do. We help build out your teen into the type of learner that they need to be in order to be successful in A levels and beyond. So imagine you're building somebody from the ground up. You're bolting in certain options, certain skill sets, certain strategies, certain mindsets. You're building somebody new. Okay. The first thing we do is we instill in your teen, we build into your teen a sense of self-confidence. And not only a sense of self-confidence, but how to increase the level of self-confidence. We do it by instilling three things: resilience, strategic thinking, and problem solving. Now, talked about this one, I believe, in the previous live stream, but resilience, we talked about this one before, is bandied around a lot now, isn't it? You've probably heard your son, your daughter's teacher talking about resilience. What is resilience? Resilience is the ability to carry on after you've had a setback. So I imagine it's like a boxer. He's in the ring, he gets knocked out. Okay. So he's on the floor, the counting to 10, and then he gets up. That's showing resilience. Not showing resilience would be, oh, I got knocked, punched by the other boxer. Oh, I'm on my back. I can't do this anymore. Okay. Resilience is what your teen needs in order to get through A levels, university, and life. And we show your teen how to build true resilience, how to keep going, because true resilience is this. True resilience is when you may get knocked down, but you get back up and you have a goal in mind and you think, I may need to adjust my strategy, I may need to adjust my approach, but I'm going to get there. Strategic thinking. We break your teen of rote learning. It's the bane of A levels. It's rote learning. It's an artifact from GCSE. So we teach some strategic thinking and problem solving. All right, so strategic thinking means that when they see a problem, they have a plan, they have a strategy, they know what to do. My father would call this thinking on your feet. Yeah, you think on your feet. You can apply the knowledge that you have. You're able to problem solve. You're able to transcend, going beyond just rote learning, memorization of mark schemes. We also equip your teen with critical thinking skills. Now, again, critical thinking skills. All these terms are bandied around by the teachers, and we hear this in parents' evening and everything else. Oh, your son, your daughter, and critical thinking skills. All right, until you ask them, well, what exactly do you mean by critical thinking skills? Some of them lean back and go, well, it's supposed to be able to problem solve. Oh, there was a glib answer, wasn't it? All right. Critical thinking skills to us at Empowered STEM and educational learning theorists out there means you can take a complex problem which you've never seen before and you can analyze it. You can break it down into its component parts. You can understand each of those component parts at a deep level. And this is what the exam board is looking for. They don't want students that can just kind of get by memorizing enough mark schemes and hoping that the question turns up on the exam. This is why they've changed the format of the exam to be more application based because they need students to be ready for university and to be able to apply their knowledge to a problem they've never seen before. Okay. And so, yes, analyze and then understand it and then understand it at a deep level. So, an example of this is surface level understanding would be okay, here's a formula, plug in all the data, and turn the crank, and out comes the answer. Right. This is surface level understanding. Slightly deeper level understanding would be you need to rearrange the formula. Okay. So now you need to be able to apply certain mathematical rules and principles to rearrange the formula. Right. A really deep level understanding would be you can derive the formula, and when you see a problem you've never seen before, you know how to apply it and solve the problem. Okay, a really deep, deep level understanding. Now, why is this important? This is important, parents, because it's getting your teen ready for university and life beyond it. Because at university, what they're looking for is that they're looking for students who can think critically. Because the issue is this. And if you ever wondered why they changed up the format of the exam, it's simple. Oxford University said to the exam board, you know what? We've got too many students who are eligible to apply to Oxford. They got straight A stars. The issue is when they're accepted into top flight universities, they fail out in the first year because they can't think critically. What they've done is that they've memorized their way through GCSE and memorized their way through A level. Now, doesn't work for university, and of course, it doesn't work beyond university because life beyond university is uncharted territory. So, what we do is we help your teen develop a great sense of independence and self-discipline. Now, with this one, what I mean by that is this, is number one, your teen knows that they are responsible for their own learning. They are student-centric. They're not teacher-centric in their learning. What this means is this, is that if they're teacher-centric, they have to wait for the teacher to explain the concept, to work through the problems with them, to basically spoon feed them, tell them what to do. Whereas if they're student-centered, yes, they may go to lesson, they may look at the resources, but on the other hand, they can learn on their own. They understand that they're responsible for the learning. They're responsible for understanding the material. They're responsible for getting ready for the exam and nobody else. And they're also focused on long-term goals. So on Thursday, we were onboarding a new student to one of our courses. And I asked her, I said, right, so go on, give me the 30-second overview of you. What A levels are you taking? What university do you want to go to? What do you want to do after university? And you know what? She had an answer. He said, well, Graham, I'm taking A-level chemistry, biology, and maths. And I want to go to King's University. I want to study medicine, and I want to be a GP. Now, that is somebody that's going to be successful in life, as compared to somebody who answers the question like this. Well, taking A-level chemistry, biology, and maths. I really don't have a university picked out yet. I'm thinking of kind of doing medicine. Uh, you know, if not, if I don't get in, I'll do something else. Okay. Not good as an answer, is it? I mean, you do need to give them a bit of leeway because they're only 16 years old, but on the other hand, the student that had her life mapped out is the one that is more likely to be successful because she's focused on long-term goals and she is responsible for her own learning. You could just tell. Now, something else that we teach your teen is the self-discipline of managing their time. Because at the end of the day, who is responsible for your teen's actions? They are. It's not like it's GCSE, is it? Where they go, okay, so there's a test next week. Have you done your homework? Right. Have you done your lab practical? Right. Let's spend an hour today in class doing the lab write-up, is it? No. What they need to be able to do is manage their own time. And so all of the students on our courses, they all know how to work 3 days ahead. It's known as the 72-hour rule. So they all know how to work ahead. They're never caught out by homework or a test or an exam or a lab practical write-up. because they know what's coming down the pipeline, what is next on the calendar, and they're ready to go. They penciled it in. So, besides teaching your teen to be independent and self-disciplined, we also teach them something else, which is we teach them to be lifelong learners. Now, this one is really important, okay? But again, lifelong learning has been bandied around. You hear it all the time. You see it in the self-help books. Oh, got to be a lifelong learner. Until you ask, well, what exactly do you mean by a lifelong learner? And sometimes what you get, if you keep probing around, asking the questions, you sometimes get the answer of, well, they have a growth mindset. What exactly do you mean by a growth mindset? Now, if you ask a teacher this on Parents' Night, some know the answer, some don't. Some say, well, it just means that they have an open mindset. They just keep going. They can accept feedback. Right. At Empowered STEM, what we do is we teach your teen to have a continuous growth mindset. A growth mindset, by the way, there's nothing special about it. It's a term coined by Carol Dweck in the 2000s. So what it means is this, is that you have a fixed mindset and you have a growth mindset. And a growth mindset means this. Your teen, for example, takes a test, they get the grade back, they get a poor grade on it, say proton NMR spectroscopy. They go, well, you know what, can't do that then, can I? I spent hours studying for that test. I mean, look at that. Got a D. Yeah, well, maybe I'm not cut out for this. Maybe I should do something else. Or maybe it's the teacher's fault, or you know what? Something else, not mine. It's the fixed mindset. Whereas a growth mindset would be, well, okay, got a D. Oh, NMR spectroscopy got a D. Right then. Well, bit of a setback. But as Graham says, there's no such thing as failure, only feedback. So what I've got to do is I'm going to look at this and say, right, I'm going to go through the concepts again. I'm going to see my teacher. I'm going to make sure I really get it. I'm going to do some more problems. I'm going to be ready for it now for the next time that it shows up. Because they have a growth mindset, which means that they may have a setback, like the boxer who's knocked down, but they're going to get up and then they're going to come up with a different strategy and they're going to move forward again because they have a goal in mind. And this allows people to become lifelong learners because they understand there is no end to learning. There's a really famous quote. I think it was done by Les Brown. I heard it with David Goggins. It's not over when I'm tired. It's over when I'm done. And so lifelong learners, they realize there is no end. They're always going to be learning something. Now, from my own personal experience, when I started teaching 27 years ago, green board and a piece of chalk the size of a brick. Now, can you imagine if I had a fixed mindset? And say, well, all I can do is teach with a green board and a piece of chalk the size of a brick. Right. But I had a growth mindset. And so at the end of my teaching career, digital whiteboards and online courses that were analogs of what I was teaching in class. Okay? Because I understood you need to change with the times. You either grow or you die. And because your teen is a lifelong learner, what they're going to be is ready for any career. any career path, and anything that life throws their way. Because the student I told you about that we onboarded on Thursday, she wants to be a GP. Okay, who knows where she's going to be in 10 years? She could still be a GP working for the NHS, or maybe she decides to open up her own private practice, or maybe she decides that she wants to teach at a local hospital. Who knows? But that student, I could tell, was a lifelong learner, and so she's going to be ready for anything that comes her way. Because what we're really doing here, parents, is this. What we're really doing is that we're developing the skills the universities are looking for. We're transcending beyond what happens with A levels and just getting a top grade on a homework set or a practical write-up, a test, a UCAS exam, or the final exams in A levels. We've transcended that. And now we're getting your teen ready for university, because the top universities, what they're looking for is three things. Number one, can your teen think critically? Now, I mentioned they've changed up all the exam format. They've now twisted it around, so now it's more application based. Why? Because at university, the students all of a sudden they couldn't think critically, which meant that they couldn't get through the coursework. So number one, they need students that can think critically. Number two, they need students that can manage the time. So again, you got to think, well, if your teen can't manage their own time, if they have to have somebody following them around saying, well, did you do your homework? Did you study for the test tomorrow? Did you do your practical write-up? They're not going to be successful in university, are they? And they'll fail out. The third thing is that they're looking for students that can work independently. Because when your teen goes to university, what they get is they get a schedule of their classes, and that's it. And then when they go to class to lecture, they're given a syllabus and they're given some exam dates, and that's it. And so your teen needs to think critically, manage the time, and be able to work independently. Why? Because what we're doing at Empowered STEM and what universities are doing is that we are preparing your teen for real world problem solving. And this is the distinction that's going to separate them from anybody else. Because what we help your teen do is break the memorization cycle of rote learning. We do that on day one. Because you don't want students at university that can just memorize. They need to be able to understand and apply. So, for example, let's say there's an A&E doctor, brilliant. A&E knows the theory inside and out, fantastic. And all of a sudden, they're working on the A&E and a multi-vehicle pileup comes in. Several cars crashed on the motorway and they're brought in. And it's a high-stress situation. And the person's lying on the gurney and he's bleeding out. And the A&E doctor says, "Oh, hold on a minute. Hold on. This one wasn't in the textbook. So I've never seen it before. So I don't know what to do." And then the person dies. What you need is an A&E doctor that can think critically. They can think outside of the box, outside of the lines. As my father would say, they can think on their feet. So you don't want somebody that can just get through life by memorizing everything. They need to be able to understand and apply it. What they need, and this is what we teach at Empowered STEM, is they need an approach and a way to solving problems. So when they see a complex problem, they don't lean back from it, they lean into it and say, oh yeah, bring it on. Because they have an approach to breaking the problem down into individual components, chunking it down. They know how to, they understand all of the individual components and how they relate together. And they know how to solve the problem because they have a deep understanding of the concept. This is what your team needs to be able to do. And this is what we teach at Empowered STEM. Because what we're really doing, we're really building resilience in your team for the future. Now, when we teach your team mental resilience, true resilience, they can handle anything. Doesn't matter what the exam board throws at them, what they're learning in sixth form college, what the university is going to give them. Guess what? They can always handle as to what's coming up next because they have this unwavering sense of self-confidence because they know how to learn. We teach your teen how to learn for the information. It's called learning to learn, and we teach your teen this. So it's kind of a complex subject, but the idea is this, is that once your teen knows how to learn, they have this unstoppable amount of self-confidence and motivation. So again, ask a teacher, well, do you think that my teen should know how to learn? And they'll say yes. And then ask them, how do you do that? Oh, that's a good question. All right. How we do it at Empowered STEM is this. 3 components. We show them how to engage with the course material, with the concept, the problem, how to engage with the material, how to retain the information, and most importantly, how to apply it. Okay? So, how to engage with the information in a way that they understand that works with their own learning style, how to retain the information, how to recall facts, figures, and understanding, and how to apply it to novel situations that they don't see, they haven't seen before. It's not something that they can memorize from a mark scheme on a test. And once they get the concept of knowing how to learn, then they become unstoppable. I mean, imagine, parents, your teen. Imagine if they knew how to learn. They'd say, yeah, well, proton NMR spectroscopy with carbon-13, mass spec, a little bit of UV thrown in for good measure, gene expression, Krebs cycle, bring it on. I know how to learn. Because I know how to learn, I know how to engage with the material, how to digest it down into steps that I understand, and how to apply it. And so it becomes a very motivational experience for your team because they have a set of skills and a set of strategies that allow them to do this. Now, what we're really doing here, parents, is this. What we're doing is that we're instilling a purpose and a sense of motivation into your teen. Because once your teen understands the importance of learning and how knowing how to learn can shape their future, well, now they become highly motivated because they understand that They're not just doing A levels, tests and exams, practicals and homework sets, UCAS and final exams in A levels and UCAT and BMAT. No, they've got a purpose. They're going to university, and they're not just going to university. They have a purpose of going to university because they want to be a doctor. And they just don't want to be a doctor. They want to be a GP because they want to help out underprivileged people. Something like that. They have a purpose that's greater than themselves. Or once they have a purpose that's greater than themselves, they become highly motivated because they've got a plan. They're on a mission. And they know that they're achieving something meaningful with their lives. Now, parents, this is what I got out of my university experience. It was 40 odd years ago. It's what we have baked in to all of the courses at Empowered STEM. It's what makes us different from the competition. Because at the end of the day, parents, look, anybody can teach your teen A-level chemistry. May not get the result, but they can teach it. You can get a tutor on one of the tutoring websites for £10 an hour, or you can go into group tutoring, 98 students in a class, or you can invest in one of our courses and help your teen go beyond what the other course providers and the group tuition people are offering. Now, I understand parents have been talking for a while, so I do appreciate you hanging with me. And you probably have questions. I mean, I would. Questions about what I'm talking about. And so what I want you to do, the next step for you is this, is to give us a call. Have a cup of tea, cup of coffee, give us a call. It's really easy to do. Look, this one we're streaming to Facebook and YouTube and Instagram. Look, make it easy on yourself. Come over to Facebook, leave us a message, and a member of my team will give you a call. You have a cup of tea, cup of coffee, a non-obligation chat, and they'll answer all of your questions. Because at the end of the day, what we want is to make sure that three things occur. Number one is that we want to make sure that our course is a perfect fit for your teen, and your teen is a perfect fit for our school. And you as a parent, you feel that you're supported and well taken care of. Because when you think about it, what does your teen really want? What your teen really wants is to feel that they've been given the support that they need in the A levels so that they can earn the grade that they know that they should have earned in their A levels, so that they can close the chapter on their A levels and go to the university of choice and start the program that they really want to do. And as a parent, you feel, well, I just want to know that I've supported my teen in the best way possible. I've done everything I can to help them out. So, like I said, give us a call, have a chat. Everybody take care, and I'll see you in the next one.